Meet Miriam. Miriam is a single mom who didn't buy just one business, but three businesses in less than a year, each doing around $1 million in revenues, all while working 9 to 5 job.
It's exciting. It's super exciting. I get up at 3 in the morning and plan my day accordingly because this company, I wake up like nothing.
People always ask me, how does one find deals? Hear what she had to say.
Well, I joined your program in September of last year. That's when I officially got my username and password, and I just went at it. I did the chapters. I was doing a couple of modules a day along with my 9 to 5, and I just started reaching out to brokers. That's how I started. My first experience was terrible. It was like you position yourself in a way that, and they, some brokers did, that particular broker did smell it, and, it was not nice. But I was able to get in front of motivated sellers faster that way. But I had to, position myself right real soon, because after a couple of calls, I got the notion that they know what, you could smell somebody if it was, they didn't want to waste their time. So I did that. I looked at some, financials. We were able to put something in escrow towards the beginning of the year, and went to the banks and started doing the finance SBA part of lending on one of them. And then on the other one, because I was going through it and we didn't put it in escrow until like March, the other two. And so this one helped me to carry into this one. And because I was going through so much hassle with SBA, that I decided to hey, let me ask the seller to see if he's willing to finance. And he did. And you don't know until you try, right?
Many people think SBA is the only way to close a deal, but hear how she got the seller to finance 1.75 million business.
Most of it, both the other two are seller finance. I did have to put a little bit of money down just to show good faith, but it was nothing. It was just from 1.75. I only put 40,000. That's nothing. The one that we closed 2 months yesterday, that one's hovering right over, not quite $1 million, but because of COVID, it's at 680 top line, and it's 297 is the what I bought it for. And the other two, because it was one seller that was selling two different businesses, I put it into one. He wanted 2.9 and I got it for 1.75. So I was able to inventory everything. Is this is how much I'll give you. And he's all like, okay. So we made a deal.
The business was doing 680,000 in top line revenues. And the seller wanted 2.9 million and she got it for 1.75 million. We're talking about the construction landscape industry.
So I am in the construction industry. The first one is the construction landscape. The other one is the countertop, and the other one is the cast stone.
People always ask me, how does one pick a sector? Hear what Miriam had to say.
I grew up in construction. My dad was a general contractor. Growing up, so construction is not something that I do, but I like the fact that you get to build something is pretty cool. Yeah. So construction, typical female in the construction industry.
A lot of people have problems with brokers, but if you know how to position yourself well, it's possible.
Well, they ask you to make sure you have 2 cents to rub together. Obviously, they don't want to waste their time. And then after a while, you say, I have this much amount of money and I want this and this and this. So instead of them telling you, I told them, this is what I want. And, so I pretty much gave them the marching orders. And, they're like, okay. And some of them took me serious, some of them didn't, especially because I was a female with no prior business experience in construction. My 9 to 5 is real estate and lending, but nothing to do with construction.
There's a lot of ways to make offers. Here, Miriam's way to do that.
I did something real simple. I just offer them 2 times EBITDA. If you take it, fine. If you don't, that's fine. That's it.
Everyone asks, why would someone sell the business, and would the seller even help in the exit?
I know at that, my cash flow will be fine and everything. I paid 2.25, 2.25 EBITDA on all of these transactions.
Everyone got challenges in the process. Hear what Miriam had to say about it.
My biggest challenge has been, obviously, like anybody, trying to find the money, lending.
Yeah.
But like on this one deal that I got financed through SBA, it was a hassle. I think everything that could go wrong went wrong on this particular deal, and you just learn from it and apply it to the next one. And I used it, but it was not knowing what to say, and then getting on the phone and messing it up. But at the end of the day, you got through it and you learned, and then so for the next one, you build on that. But it's not hard, but it's not easy. It's not rocket science, is what I'm trying to say. But you do have to ram through the call, or through the problem, or through the situation, and you don't know what you don't know until you get to the other side. And now that you get to the other side, now you know what you don't know, and so you can go in and acquire that knowledge. And I have leveraged on a couple of the people that you have interviewed and call them, just to get to, you want to make sure that you're heading in the right direction. So you kind of like check marks, hey, this is where I'm at, what do you think? And they all been great. John Reed, he's been great. He's also in my sector, so we still communicate on that. So I did leverage on the people you have interviewed, and they were nice enough to return my phone call, take a couple minutes with me, and I just wanted like a benchmark that I am heading in the right directions, because no matter how much you put out there, until you don't get out and do it, it doesn't have the same meaning, So I just stopped, because I was pretty much done watching your videos, stopped and then just went at it, and then came back, okay, and then went back at it, So it was, after a while, you have to put all this into action.
The biggest thing with someone who bought a business is not just financial results, it's their personal shift in that process.
You know what? So I think there's they don't think this is possible, or this is true, or this could happen. I myself, when I closed my first one, I had to pinch myself, because I was like, oh, I did it. It is for real. I was like, does anybody, I was looking around to see, and but yeah, it's possible. And my thing is, why didn't I discover this, any sooner? But it came at a perfect time. But I think people are skeptical that somebody will sell to you. You don't know anything about men. Here's a female in a construction sector. I don't know anything about, what I know how to run a business. I know how to structure and delegate and do all of that. But I'm not out there, doing the actual labor part of it. So my husband hasn't been the most supportive, because he says, how are you going to go into a business that you have no idea what to do? And I'm all like, there's people for that, and like John Reed said, that if you believe there's good people out there, you'll find those, because that's what you will attract. And so my husband is not behind me 100%, and that's okay. Even though I didn't get his blessing, I still went with it, because you know what, I was all in. It was all or nothing. And so it would be easier if he would be a little bit more supportive, but he's not. So, he'll come.
I also always like to ask them about their goals.
Definitely. So I want to be able to get all these three businesses by next year to hit $1 million in sales. I want to be able to buy, and I talked to Angela the other day. I said, when I signed on, I told her I wanted to buy three businesses in my first year, which I have accomplished.
So good. I love it.
And I reached out to her, I'm like, Angela, I did.
So good.
And so I have another one in the pipeline. We are negotiating, and I'm looking at some other financials. So my goal is to buy, 3 to 4 businesses a year. But I want to make sure that the business I buy is making over $1 million in revenue. A business that has done over $1 million is a different type of business. And hopefully within 5 years or so, I want to be able to buy a $20 million business. If it takes the same amount of work, why not, do a bigger dollar amount,